We're staying in transportation, looking at cars now. Used car prices are finally on the decline after reaching record highs. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance contributor Vera Gibbons to discuss all this. So Vera, millions of Americans are coming off their 2019 vehicle leases and are wondering what to do in this sort of challenging environment. But do they buy the lease out or do they trade in the car?
It's such a numbers game. You know, it's largely a personal choice. Some people like the idea of having a brand new car every couple of years. They want it for work. They like shiny and new. But you really do have to run the numbers. The other thing people are looking at is the residual value versus the actual market value. So for the first time, you may be sitting on several $1,000s and thinking, oh, well, I can apply this toward a new car, and that'll take some of the sting out of buying a new car. But the problem is affordability is still very challenging, and inventory is still very low. So you might not get the right make, the right model, the right color you want, and you are going to be paying sticker price, if not more than sticker price.
And are prices stabilizing at all, Vera? Are you there?
Vera, Dave was asking if prices are stabilizing.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Yeah, well, no, here's the thing. I mean, inventory is still low. Yes, it's coming back a little bit, but prices are still historically very high. So that is why people are saying, you know, maybe I'll just actually keep my car. You do have to run the numbers and see, because it's going to be probably in your best bet to go ahead and buy that lease out for the first time. You may have $2,000 or $3,000 of equity. You may have $5,000. You may have $10,000. So it's really important that you actually take a look at the big picture. What's the condition of the car? How much could you get for the car in the outside world on Craigslist, for example? You might want to actually price that out and actually see. Edmunds.com, TrueCar.com, Kelley Blue Book are excellent resources for you. You also want to shop for financing too, because the car dealer is going to basically say, oh, you have to do your financing here, and they're going to give you rates that are not all that attractive. So your best bet would be to shop around a bit, maybe get the financing from a credit union, as a lot of people are doing. But it is pretty much a numbers game. I mean, you're looking at a new car of about $50,000, and people are saying, that is just too much. I'm going to keep my car, drive it into the ground, and maybe revisit the car situation in a couple of years.
So then will consumers necessarily come out ahead if they do end up buying the lease out?
You know, I asked Edmunds.com, one of the reps there, if they actually did the lease buyout, would they come out ahead? And he said, statistically, probably yes. He said, unless you have a reason to actually lease, you're better off actually buying that car out. I spoke to one consumer who actually did just that. He ran the numbers on an Excel spreadsheet for his Honda 2019. He took into consideration the condition of the car, no dents, no dings. He kept the mileage nice and low, which was a good thing as well. And his monthly payments on the new were going to be so much higher without the promotions, without the incentives. The down payment was going to be higher. So he figures he's going to be several $1,000s ahead. He's going to keep the car and then sell it in the outside world, in the outside market, maybe a couple years down the line.
So for people in this predicament, what should they do, bottom line?
Well, I think the first thing you're going to do, Dave, is actually figure out if the buyout is actually allowed. In some cases, it might not be. I mean, the dealers would actually like to have those cars back on the lot. So find out if it's allowed, and then find out what the residual value is versus the market value. And again, this is where resources like Edmunds or Kelley Blue Book or TrueCar can be really helpful. Find out what you could get for the car in the outside world. Look at what other cars are going for, similar condition, similar make, similar model, all of that stuff. And then take into consideration any fees that the dealership's going to apply, taxes. I mean, those actually do add up. But if you come out ahead, as a lot of consumers are actually finding when they run the numbers, then it is in your best interest for the first time in a long time to actually go ahead and buy that lease out. And, you know, like I said, consumers for the first time are sitting on maybe $5,000 in equity. Normally, they're not in that position. So consumers are pretty much in the driver's seat when it comes to the buyouts.
It is a tough spot with these prices. Vera Gibbons, great stuff. Thanks so much.